Okay, I'm a little bit ahead of the game, being off at the moment. So rather than do extra love readings, I thought I would do a workplace reading for anyone that's got a nightmare boss at the moment. And I mean nightmare as in like you cannot stand it. Each day you're like, should I just leave? Should I just escape? Okay. Really, really bad. So we'll see if it's helpful to anyone. It's a new spread that I've not done before. So we've got the Devil card in the middle. And we're going to get 3 cards. The first one for how you feel at work now. The second one for your boss, as in their personality or their actions. And the third one for the effect or the impact that that's having on you right now. Okay, how do you feel at work right now? Hang on, I need to put an Aries card up. Okay. Let's put the Aries card in. Hi, welcome into the chat. It's readings that are collective by zodiac sign, and it's about your workplace. So I'm starting off with Aries. Okay, if you've got a nightmare boss at the moment, this is what this one's about. Okay, so how you feel at work at the moment if you're the sign of Aries. Oh, that must be the wrong way around. Hang on. Please look at the title. It says if you have a nightmare boss. Okay, it's about work. The Hanged Man and the Three of Wands. Okay, so you feel stuck when it comes to forwards movement. That's how you feel about your workplace at the moment. Like, you know, what about my future? Like, my future in this workplace, what is it? Like, am I going to be redundant? Is my role going to be redundant in the next few years? What is your boss's personality or actions? The High Priestess. Okay, so for me, like, the High Priestess is like, it's uncertainty. Okay, so it's lack of certainty. You don't feel like your boss understands who you are. Let's get one for their impact on your career. The Last Judgment reversed, the Three of Cups reversed, the Moon reversed, the Strength card reversed. It's making you feel like you doubt yourself, like you got imposter syndrome. They're non-cooperative. There's stagnancy. There's nothing happening. With the Last Judgment reverse, it's like there's nothing happening. You're not needed. Okay, so let's get a fourth card. Now this is, if you've got any colleagues, this is advice that you should follow from a colleague that's giving you advice on what to do. Seven of Swords reversed. Knight of Cups reversed. Be emotionless. Be without emotion. Do not try to give emotion towards someone that doesn't operate the way that you do. Okay? If you are a normal functioning human being and you try to show emotion towards someone that functions very, very differently to you, it's not going to have the impact that you want it to. They're going to perceive it as weakness, okay? Seven of Swords reversed is like, don't be competitive. Ace of Pentacles reversed, there's no future in this, okay? You don't stand a chance. Eight of Swords reversed. Don't even stress about it, guys. Just make a plan of action. You either walk out or you're giving your notice if you feel like you can do that. That's the right advice, okay? This is advice from a different colleague that you should ignore, okay? If someone else is giving different advice, this is going to be it, and it's what you should ignore. So this says 10 of Wands reversed, dropping the burdens. They're saying, like, just don't even worry about it. You know, don't even think about it. That's not possible. If you feel like work has become a prison and you have to be there 5 days a week, that's no good. Okay, like it definitely calls for some sort of action. Card number 6, lessons to be learned. What lessons are to be learned for Aries, please? The way they flew out, oh my god. The Seven of Wands upright. Oh, I'll tell you what I did. I read the Seven of Swords card as the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Swords is deception being revealed. And that was along with the Knight of Cups. Yeah, so the advice that you got from a colleague that was saying, look, this person's deceptive, like, you need to just get away from them, you can't operate with them, don't show any emotion, because they'll use it against you. This was the right advice, okay? It's not something to be careless either with the 10 of Wands reversed, like, oh, just don't worry about it. It's not, you know, going to turn into anything. It is, okay. Action needs to be taken. Lessons to be learned. The Seven of Wands. Fight your own corner. Queen of Swords reversed. Now, Queen of Swords upright is someone that is truthful, is honest, serves the community, believes that strategy will be the answer. Queen of Swords reverse is someone that's actually going to use harsh words, a harsh tone, give the person what for, be quite manipulative. Okay, so you need to play this person at their own game. That's the lesson to be learned. Play this person at their own game. Be clever about it, okay? Don't do nothing, but be clever about what you do. What will be the outcome, please? What will be the outcome for Aries? Hi, welcome into the chat, everyone. Eight of Cups reversed. You're going to outlast this crazy boss. You're going to outlast them. You're not going to walk away. You're going to fight fire with fire. Okay? And you're going to outlast them. They'll do something. There'll be someone that is hoisted by their own petard. Okay? They're going to hang themselves. They're going to do something to put themselves in the frame. Okay, so whether you help to do that or you're just a bystander, wait it out, okay? But don't do nothing. You're going to have to fight fire with fire here, but I think you're going to outlast this person in their workplace. What's an alternative outcome for Aries? King of Wands reversed. If this person forces you out, you're going to have to get demoted. You're going to have to take a step down. It's going to put you back in your career. So don't yield to whoever this is, okay? It's very important. You need to stay where you are, but you need to fight fire with fire. Don't be inactive. Don't be unresponsive. Okay, that's the advice for Aries. Don't be inactive. Don't be unresponsive. You're going to have to fight fire with fire. You will outlast this person. Okay, whoever this is, you're cleverer than them. Okay, I'm going to clear up these cards and we're going to go on to Taurus. The Devil card stays in the middle because that represents the crazy boss, okay? Okay, if you are a Taurus and you have a nightmare boss in your workplace, let's see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to get 3 cards. The first one for how you feel at work now. The second one for your boss's personality. And the third one for how your boss impacts your career, okay? So how you feel at work right now. The Ace of Cups reversed. Okay, you hate it. You cannot stand it. You've fallen out of love with your job. You've fallen out of love with this workplace, the company, the organisation. Okay, your boss's personality is the 5 of Cups. So there's someone that's very negative, very depressed. They lack hope. They just see it as like the place is being run into the ground and there's nothing we can do about it. We've got to go down with the ship. How is that impacting your career, Taurus? The Magician reverse. You feel like your hands are tied. You feel like it's their way or the highway. There's no room for negotiation. You can't contribute to the wider picture of what's going on, the vision of the organisation, their approach. You've got no way to contribute to it. It's all being decided before it even filters down to you. So you feel like your hands are tied, and the workplace is going in one direction only, and that's down. Okay, advice from colleague number 1. This is what you should do. This is some good advice, okay? The right advice for Taurus. The Hierophant, the Queen of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the Hermit reversed. This is about being vocal, standing up for what you believe in. Do share what you think. Do share your aspirations. Use the benefit of life experience, okay? From your experience, and you're a very experienced employee, whether that's experience from previous workplaces or the same one, you've got a lot of knowledge, you've got a lot of expertise, you've got your judgment on how things are going, the direction that's being decided, and you should not keep quiet about it, okay? People should listen to what you've got to say. Be vocal about your experience because it's valid, okay? Okay, so this is advice from colleague number 2, which should not be followed, okay? Their advice is really crazy because it's the opposite, okay? So the other person had the Queen of Wands upright. This person has the King of Wands reversed. The High Priestess, the King of Wands reversed, the 4 of Pentacles reversed. This person's advice is to leave, is to make no effort whatsoever, to just submit, to be intuitive about the situation, to not even try to help, okay? Just to be submissive or to leave. And If it's to be submissive, then it's to stay and, you know, take whatever, like, demotions come your way. Like, you know, where there's, like, a reduced budget and they cut costs and they, like, make something tighter and tighter, like, budget-wise. They're just saying to just go with it. To, like, spend more and more of your own money to, like, make it work. Lessons to be learned from this situation, Taurus. 3 of Swords reversed. And the 7 of Cups reversed. 3 of Swords is an interesting one because when that's upright, it's heartbreak, heartache. You know, when it's reversed, it's like recovery from that. It's like, don't be upset over this for a long time. It's political, it's a wider picture, it's something very common, commonly seen with workplaces. If there's like a reduced budget, if they're being, you know, held by the gonads and they're kind of backed into a corner, it's not something to get emotional about. Okay, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your emotions and your well-being. The 7 of Cups, when it's upright, is having options, thinking about what you want, having a blank canvas, fantasizing over which direction to go next, having loads of options. 7 of Cups reverse is like delusion, you know what I mean? It's like, don't even have a care in the world. Do not even have a care in the world. Don't spare a moment to worry about this, okay? It's not your problem. It's being handled poorly. It's a bad situation being made worse. And you don't need to continue to invest in it, okay? Just jump ship. Accept the changes. The outcome. What will be the outcome of this workplace situation for Taurus? Knight of Wands reversed. Okay, you're going to lose passion for this place. It's not in alignment with what you believe, your vision, your values. It used to be a place that was in line with your vision and values. It isn't anymore. What's an alternative outcome? The Emperor reversed. You will lose control over your role, your responsibilities, the policies and procedures and how things are done in that workplace. You'll feel less and less control over what's going on, and it's going to affect more more and more of your private life, okay, so that you feel like deflated by work, you feel controlled by work, you feel dominated by it. It seems like a really bad option to remain there, okay. Right, let's go on to Gemini. You know, there's always like one colleague in a workplace that's been there since day dot, and they've seen like many different managers come through. Why do you think they never leave? It's not from confidence, okay? It's they decide that it's easier to stay and take continuous change, continuous contradiction, repetition, randomness, extreme, you know, changes. Like they will stay through anything because they just think that's better than leaving and going somewhere else. Not true. Okay. Did you read the title for the reading? It's about workplaces. It's about having a nightmare boss. This is a reading for workplaces. It's if you have a nightmare boss, okay? So the Devil card in the middle represents your boss. Right, the first card is going to be, Gemini, how do you feel at work right now? How does Gemini feel at work right now? We've got the Eight of Cups reversed and the Star reversed. I mean, if the Eight of Cups was upright, I would say that you're going to walk away, you're going to leave. But it's not, it's reversed, okay? So you want to hang on in there. The Star card is wish fulfillment and healing. That's reversed. So you're unhealed, you're very distressed, but you don't want to leave, okay? You don't feel like you should have to go. Maybe you were there first before this boss arrived, and then you're like, I'm not going to leave because this moron's arrived that doesn't know how to run this place. What is your boss's personality or actions? We've got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So they don't invest in the place. They're not able to level it up. They can't see a good direction for the company or organisation. They're the first ones to leave, you know, at 4:30. They don't spend enough time working on the direction, the future of the company. They're just there for the time that it's there, and then they're going to bob on, okay? How much does this affect your career? This part-time boss, how much is it affecting your career? The Sun card, okay? So you actually prefer it when the boss isn't there. You actually prefer it when they're not there, because even though you don't feel confident about the future of the workplace, you just prefer not to be around them. Okay, advice that's been given from colleague number 1. This is what you should do. This is good advice. Two of Swords reversed. Don't make any decisions right now. Oh, sorry. If it's upright, it'd be don't make any decisions right now. The fact it's reversed, it's like, make a decision, okay? Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Okay, this is colleague number 2. This is what to ignore. This is their advice or attitude that's to be ignored. Queen of Swords reversed, 7 of Wands upright, 3 of Wands, the Hanged Man. Do not have any outbursts or arguments in your workplace, okay? Just decide to hand in your notice if that's what you feel is going to give you peace of mind, to know that it's just a countdown and you've made the decision that you're going to leave. Do that, okay? Giving you notice, be professional. If not, then you need to keep stum and nod and smile and say yes, whatever you want. The worst thing that you could do is start being argumentative, throwing your weight around, and, you know, losing your temper in work, because that's what, you know, threatening to leave, you know, that's what this advice would be. Okay. Just getting a coffee. Okay, so definitely don't get into any altercations or start being really vocal about how you feel about a place. Not a good idea, okay? That's bad advice. What are the lessons to be learned from being in this situation? If you're a Gemini, what lessons can be learned? 5 of Swords reversed. Okay, so peace is power. Bite your tongue, bite your lip. Do not say exactly what's on your mind, okay? Be professional, put a veil over things. Try to be adaptable, try to be calm, unreactive to stuff, because they're looking for, your boss and your superiors are looking for people who are not on board, and they're going to be quite assertive about people who are not on board, okay? So it's not a good idea at the moment. In this situation, if you're a Gemini, do not start being vocal or openly argumentative, because they're going to have a really harsh response, okay? What will be the outcome? What will be the outcome of this situation with this nightmare boss? Guys, you're not reading the title. It says nightmare boss. Okay, it's a workplace reading if you have a nightmare boss. Eight of Wands upright and the Justice reversed. Eight of Wands is fast action, progress, fast communication. The Justice reversed is things being unfair. Okay, so the outcome is that you may get short shrift from superiors, from management. You may get made redundant. But you know what? You need to get references from these people. So accept whatever is going to happen. Start looking for another job. It's probably on its way out, this particular contract. What's an alternative outcome? This is a workplace reading for if you have a nightmare boss. I don't know why people are coming in and they're not reading the title. Strength card reversed and the Ace of Wands reversed. There's no chance of promotion. There could actually be demotion, loss of power, loss of authority, restrictions on your role. You're going to feel disempowered, okay? You're going to feel very disempowered. They will make it very, very difficult for you if you are outspoken at this workplace, okay? It's probably like on a limited time frame, but it's best to just accept that, start looking for the work, and, you know, I won't be outspoken about anything. It's not going to get you anywhere. Okay, so that is the outcome for Gemini with a workplace situation. Keep your mouth shut. Quietly start looking for another job. Okay. Don't be outspoken. It isn't worth the drama that's going to cause. You'll find yourself out in the cold with, you know, serious like verbal or written warning, or getting fired. They'll go hard on your ass, okay? Let's have a look at workplace situations for Cancer. If you have a nightmare boss, hi, welcome into the chat. Okay, so Cancer, the first card when it comes to your nightmare boss is how you feel at work right now. The Ace of Cups reverse, you've really fallen out of love with your job, Cancer. You're just not into it at all. No passion. You've lost your like motivation to do your job. Your boss's personality or actions. Okay, I've got the Death card reversed. They refuse to move forwards. They're still, you know, following the same narrative, using the same approach, the same protocols, the same resources. They're just not able to like walk into the future. The Four of Wands reverse is instability. Okay, you feel like your future in the company is uncertain, or the future of the organization itself is uncertain, unstable, because they're not moving with the times. The Seven of Swords reversed is deception being exposed, lying, cheating, stealing. The Eight of Swords reversed is, you know, you're not up in your head about this anymore. It's not, this person doesn't worry about like their behavior. They don't feel like it's down to them what happens to the organization. They're just stuck in their ways. You're starting to see the light. You don't, you know, like think the sun shines out of their arse anymore. How is this impacting your career? It's not a love reading. You need to read the title. It's a workplace reading for a nightmare boss. The Ten of Wands reversed. It's impacting your career. If that was upright, I'd say that it's been a really long and difficult road, but you're refusing to let this stress you out anymore. Like, you actually don't care about having this job anymore. You're not in love with it. You don't feel like they're taking responsibility for what they're doing to the workplace. They're unable to move with the times, and therefore you just like disconnected from it. You're disassociated with it. You're not reading the title of the reading. Guys, it's a workplace reading. It's a workplace reading about a nightmare boss. There's even a thumbnail and a title. I don't know, like, why you're not reading that before you click on it. Welcome into the chat. Okay, so we're currently on Cancer. Advice from colleague number one when it comes to this workplace, because the boss isn't moving with the times. You've fallen out in love with the job because of it. Knight of Cups reverse. Don't reveal your emotions. Do not be transparent about your lack of, you know, interest in this job at the moment. That is the right advice, okay? Colleague one is telling you the right advice. Another colleague that's talking to you, this is advice to ignore, okay? The World card reversed. This is just how it is. You know, this is what work is like. Get over yourself. This attitude of like, this is what work is like. You know, like, you just have to put up with horrible bosses. Like, you don't need to change. That's the wrong attitude. Four of Cups reversed. Being open to like seeing that boss's point of view. No. Okay, not good advice. Page of Pentacles reversed. It's like, just don't expect anything. Just like, why are you asking for more? You're being greedy asking for a promotion. You're being greedy expecting to, you know, be offered opportunities. Like, no. That's a negative. That's a very negative, pessimistic mindset. If you're in your 30s or your 40s, you should be wanting opportunities. If you're 17, you're not going to be asked about a workplace. You know, if you're 70, you're not going to be asked about a workplace. But if you're somewhere in between, of course you're going to be asked. Ten of Swords, they're just like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it. It's something to worry about. Of course it is. The right advice, though, is to keep stum. Do not convey how you feel about this workplace, okay? People won't appreciate it. What would be the outcome, please? You're not going to let it get to you. However, Nine of Pentacles reversed it's going to affect your abundance, okay? If the Nine of Pentacles was upright, it'd be like, you're going to have enough money, you're going to be fine. But that's reversed, so that's not good. The love is reversed. You're just going to feel like this place is not in alignment with where you're at, and it's not allowing you to even have enough to live off of, okay, in a comfortable way. Like, it's pointless. I can't understand why people are talking about love readings when there's a thumbnail of a boss and it says nightmare boss. Am I crazy? Like, I can't understand why you wouldn't look at that. You've looked on it to click on it. The Temperance, okay? So you're going to need to really take care of your own emotions. Talk to people when you get home from work about what's happening, about how stressful it is. Get that support. Your tribe are going to meet you. They're on your side, you know. They don't anything to do with your workplace. They just care about you and your well-being. So talk to your friends, talk to your family. You're going to find a way to manage the stress of this, okay? What's an alternative outcome? The Two of Pentacles reversed. Something's going to have to give. Okay. So you may start putting less effort into your job. You may find other ways to distract yourself so that work isn't like the main focus of your life. Get hobbies on the go. Get the gym on the go. Anything to stay sane, okay? But you're definitely like not in love with this workplace anymore. The best advice is to not convey how you actually feel about the job. Just keep your mouth shut, okay? That wouldn't be a good idea. Someone else is saying just lower your expectations. Just don't expect anything of this dumb workplace, you know, like this is us, ha ha ha. No, like they've accepted like the worst. They're settling and you don't need to do that. You can find better opportunities somewhere else. But don't be obvious about it, okay? Because just say, oh, it's my time to move on, and like make excuses like I'm relocating, or I don't know, make some sort of excuse as to why you're moving on. But don't be honest. Okay, we're going to move on to Leo. It's not a love reading, it's a workplace reading. If you have a nightmare boss at the moment, that's what the reading is about. It says it in the thumbnail, and there's a picture of a boss as well. Okay, Leo, how you feel at work right now? Right, the challenge is the Five of Pentacles. You're not sure like whether there's any point in you being here in this workplace right now. You're not sure about your future in the workplace. You're not sure if you're going to get paid like what, you know, it's worth. Like, is it worth your time? Perhaps it's excuse me, perhaps it's a workplace where you get paid, you know, sometimes and sometimes not. Sometimes you feel valued and sometimes you feel overlooked. What about your boss's personality or actions, Leo? Their personality is to go all in, okay? They're a bit of a risk taker. You're not quite sure like what to expect from them, whether they've got the right idea or they're just crazy reckless. They're a very spontaneous person. They like to take a leap of faith. They like to take chances. You're not sure whether that's like going to land you in hot water or not. Okay, that's the last thing. As a Taurus, I'm not a Leo, but as a Taurus, that's the last thing I would want. And I know you're a fixed sign, Leo. I want a workplace that I can rely on. I want something stable. I don't want someone who's constantly taking risks. Yeah, this is how we put bread on the table every month. Like, we don't want risks. Hi, welcome into the chat, Aaron. Hi, Zenitsu. How does your boss impact your career? They're the Fool, okay? So they've got this fiery personality. They love taking risks. The Moon reversed and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. There's been actually some poor investment. There's been chances taken that did not work out. And you're quite resentful of that, I think. You've lost a lot of faith in this boss. Advice from colleague number 1, and this is what you should take this advice, okay? Ten of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so there is no future in this corporation or this organization, whatever it is. This person takes way too many risks. They're delusional. They're a fantasist. They're making huge mistakes that are costing everybody. Okay, get yourself out. What is the advice from a different colleague? Okay, this advice is not to be taken. The Nine of Pentacles with the Ace of Cups reverse, like, oh, you don't like this workplace, but you should stay because, you know, you've only got yourself to think about. What's the worst that could happen? Like, that is terrible advice. Am I crazy, or is the title of this reading not about workplaces? I'm gonna go insane. Right, lessons to be learned. Four of Swords reversed. It's not time to rest, okay? It's not time to stop and just let things flow. It's time to act, okay? Start securing other work now. You need to take control of the situation. Okay, what will be the outcome of this situation, please? The Six of Swords reversed. So you're going to feel a bit traumatized by this, okay? Because just working for someone that has no understanding or acknowledgement of or culpability for gambling with basically your future and your stability, that's going to haunt you a little bit. It's going to make it a little bit difficult to forget for a while how traumatic this was. What's an alternative outcome? The Four of Wands reversed. Okay, so just a lack of stability, not knowing what's going on from 1 month or 1 week to the next, not being able to concentrate, okay? It's going to cause arguments at home. When you're stressed at work, you are not right when you're around your partner, around your kids, okay? It's going to cause other problems. Hi, welcome into the chat. Okay, I'm going to go on to Virgo. Please make sure that you look at what this reading is called. It's a Nightmare Boss reading. It's about the workplace. It's nothing to do with a love reading. Okay, if you're Virgo and you have a nightmare boss at the moment, how do you feel about your workplace right now? Knight of Swords reversed. There's a lot that you've got on your mind, a lot that you feel like you want to say, you know, things that you like rehearse saying or that you practice saying out loud and then you don't, you hold it in. Okay, so there's a lot that's unsaid, a lot that's on your mind about your workplace at the moment, which isn't a nice place to be in. What is your boss's personality or actions? Thank you, T. That's nice. The Hermit reversed. They're not taking any accountability for their part in things. Okay, they're just acting without thinking. When something goes wrong, they're not reflecting. They're not learning from their mistakes. Yes, we can see your comments. If they're not about a workplace reading, though, they shouldn't be on there. Unless you want a personal reading, and then you can go to the channel description and you can click the link for my PayPal and give me £18 and I'll record 20 minutes of a reading for you. Well, this is about a workplace. It's a collective reading by zodiac sign about nightmare bosses and workplaces, okay? The Last Judgment reversed. The impact is that you don't know how to act. You don't know whether to move. You don't know what to do. You're keeping quiet, but you're getting more and more frantic. This person is not... They're just overlooking you. They're not taking accountability. What do you mean, Mojo? Personal reading would be nice, but do you have that many... Are you a complicated character, are you? I can do a personal reading for you. Mojo, does it not say that this is a workplace reading for nightmare bosses? Because people keep asking about love. I'm gonna go insane. Right, so on Virgo, you've got a lot that you want to say, but you're not saying it. Your boss is taking no accountability, okay? They are not reflecting on their mistakes at all. They're not learning. The impact is there's no change. Okay, advice from colleague number 1. 6 of Cups reversed. Six of Cups reversed. 6 of Cups upright is a soulmate card, okay? It's like a perfect match. It's someone that feels like you've known them forever, even if they're new to you. Someone that you have feelings of nostalgia for. It's very happy emotions. That's reversed. So you don't feel any connection, like, there's no love lost. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I didn't care about this place enough to actually be upset to leave it. This person's like, do not let this affect you personally. Like, it's just a place of work. Okay, keep it at that. Don't let it cross your boundaries. That's good advice. Okay, don't let this affect your personal life, because workplaces really can affect your personal life. What about advice that we should ignore? Thanks, Mojo. Mojo, can you get rid of anyone that's just treating it like a love reading? Because it's not a love reading. They're being very naughty. Page of Wands upright. Someone's like, oh, like, treat it like it's a new workplace, because they've taken a different strategy now, or they've changed some of the policies, or, there's some new people that have started. No, like, it's not going to change. So just ignore that, okay? Don't be naive about things. Don't continue down this road with full naivety. It's not a good idea. Lessons to be learned. The Ace of Cups reversed, like, you can really, like, lose your love for what you do, or for a company, when it's run, poorly. The outcome is the Emperor. It's a challenge position. So you're going to feel like, it's better to work for yourself, or it's better to go against the leadership. And that's not good. When you don't trust the leadership of your workplace, when you don't believe in, what they believe in, when you got different approaches to how you would solve things, it's not nice to feel like that. It makes it really difficult to stomach being there. What's going to be the outcome? What will be the outcome for Virgo when it comes to this workplace situation? The Empress reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright. It's like, like, you could be financially okay, but you won't feel abundant. You won't feel attractive. You won't feel patient. You won't feel nurturing. You won't feel understanding. You won't feel creative. Okay, you'll be okay financially, but it's just going to be a paycheck every month. Like, you're not going to enjoy it the way that you used to. You're going to run out of creativity, feel blocked. When I'm looking at this, I feel like I didn't get out a third card, which would have been for how your boss impacts your career. So let's get one more. How is this going to impact your career? 7 of Wands upright. 3 of Wands, the Hanged Man. You're going to start becoming really open-minded and wanting to take action. You're going to feel competitive and combative against like the leadership. You're not going to, you know, when you feel like, oh my God, I should just go out on my own because I could do this better. That's not a good headspace to be in when you're in a workplace. It is probably is better to leave, and it's not naivety or blind faith in yourself. It's like you've actually got to the point where you've got the experience and the know-how, you know, and you've worked in places that do things better. It's very, very difficult to put up with the stupidity when you've got to that point. I think it's a paycheck every month, but I don't think you're going to enjoy it. I don't think you're going to feel fulfilled or like, you know, like you respect the place that you work for. Okay, on to Libra. Okay, Libra, how are you feeling about work right now? The 10 of Wands reversed. You just refuse to worry about it. You know, you've done this a long time. You're not stressing about it. You're not going to like take on the burden. 5 of Wands upright, Queen of Wands, the Hierophant, the High Priestess. You're using your instincts and your life experience to continue to maintain your position. Okay, and you'll fight off whatever comes your way. You're still ambitious, but you're not going to let it get to you to the point where you're going to take on more work than what you need to. You're not going to, you know, some people like are people pleasers. You're not going to do that. No. You're going to be quite assertive and, you know, they can take it or they can leave it. What about your boss's personality, his or her actions? Okay, your boss is quite a determined person, whether they're male or female. They've got like quite a good history with doing what they're doing. They've achieved a lot. They're quite well thought of. They don't give up easily. They've had quite a good career out of doing what they're doing. How does your boss impact your career? Queen of Swords reversed. I mean, the Queen of Swords upright is someone that stands for justice, integrity. They don't take any messing. They want what's fair. Queen of Swords will cut cords if they need to. When it's reversed, it's like maybe you feel sometimes that you have to play the game, be a bit manipulative, use knowledge to your power, use understanding of how these people operate to do what you think they would like or to avoid certain consequences. You know, like you have to be quite strategic and manipulative. It's not just plain sailing. Colleague 1, this is some good advice, okay? This is what you should do. Page of Wands upright, the Hermit reversed, Two of Cups reversed. Okay, so your advice. Two of Cups reversed. It does seem like their advice is to move on. You know, be naively optimistic. Don't sit and reflect and take ages to like worry about leaving this workplace. Two of Cups reversed, like, you know, take it or leave it. Like, they're not gonna stop and like cry over you. So it looks like you got the right attitude when it comes to, you know, only doing the amount of work that's warranted and not breaking your back for this workplace, because the person's long in the tooth that's running it. They've done it for a long time. They're quite resilient and stable, but they're not going to go out of their way for, you know, you're a cog in the wheel essentially. They're not a bad person, but you've got the right attitude with the way that you're handling things at the moment. I'd say you're more mature, Libra. This is some poor advice. This is advice that another colleague has given you, and it's what to ignore. So when it comes to a nightmare boss or nightmare workplace, we've got the Strength reversed. So they're saying, do you know what, like, have a kick off. I think you should make a big fuss. I think you should, you know, get emotional about this, be a bit domineering. You know more than they do. Just start to challenge them. Don't do that. Definitely do not do that. Okay. That's bad advice. Lessons to be learned. Page of Pentacles reversed. See, Page of Pentacles upright is like there's opportunities, there's like invitations, there's invites, there's going to be further career development, okay? This is the amount that you will get to if you stay in this workplace, and if that's fine for you, brilliant, okay, so be it. But if you want more, if you want progression, go somewhere else. So it's not necessarily that, you know, the person's like awful, but they like to keep people in positions that they feel are working for them. They don't like to think about how to progress their colleagues or co-workers necessarily. Potential outcome, Ace of Cups reverse. So you're gonna become quite lackluster over this if it stays how it is, and it's likely to, unfortunately. This person could be a fixed sign, this boss, because they like to keep, you know, why change something if it's already working? Why fix it? Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of like attitude which works for a while and then it doesn't, okay, because external realities are changing, so they need to be someone that's a bit more adaptive. Alternative outcome, King of Wands reversed, Four of Cups reversed. So you'll become open to offers reluctantly. You'll become open to offers from other workplaces that are smaller, that pay less, but they're just moving with the times. Okay, because you will become out of alignment with this place given time. Because the person's just not, they like to keep things how they are. You know, they think if it's working, why fix it? If it's not broken, why fix it? But everything needs to change at a point. Okay, that is your advice, Libra. So let's clear up this card and we'll go on to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, how do you feel at work right now? We've got the Page of Swords reverse and the Six of Wands upright. I think you feel like you feel recognised, you feel noticed, you feel valued, you feel appreciated. However, you don't really want to think about what's up ahead. Okay, you could be aware of some impending changes, or you just think, well, it's fine if they're happy with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it as things are. But should they want something drastically different, and this can happen in a lot of fields, I'd feel massively out of my comfort zone. You may also feel like when you're left to your own devices, you're great at that, but you don't really want to like attend staff meetings. You don't really like going to team stuff. You don't necessarily keep up with all the emails and the bulletins and everything. Because that's a card. Page of Swords is a card of like watching, observing, waiting. So I feel like you like to fly solo and you're quite good at that. You like to be trusted to just get on and do. Right, so your boss's personality or actions. The Sun card, the Eight of Wands, they're very optimistic. They like to move fast, move quickly. The Justice reversed, they don't always use the correct channels or protocols. Okay, they like to cut corners. The Knight of Wands reversed. There could be someone that's very straight talking. They're not that passionate. They're just kind of maybe a little aggressive or hot-headed. The Hanged Man. They do feel the need to be adaptive at the moment, so they might be conflicted and trying to sort of change their ways a little bit, but I see them as a hothead and someone that, jumps in, like, feet first. How does it impact your career? We've got the Chariot reversed and the Five of Cups upright. Damn. There was some sort of recent loss or poor decision, maljudgment, and it caused a big financial loss, or you lost a major client. The Five of Cups is grief, sadness, loss, regret. It's like remorse, okay? Like, shit, I cut corners and we got a major fine, or I hired someone I shouldn't have, and, I didn't put them through a probation period, or it's some kind of major mistake, like a big boo-boo was made, and we're paying the price for it. Right, colleague number one. This is some good advice. Okay, so the Star card reversed. Don't think that you're going to get, all your dreams and your goals recognised in this particular workplace. Do dream big and attempt to move on. Okay, this is advice from colleague 2, and it's what you should ignore. Seven of Swords reversed and Ace of Pentacles reversed. So someone is suggesting that you be deceitful, or you try to get dirt on this workplace, or you try to cross them somehow. You try to do something that's deceitful. Don't do it, okay? It's gonna result in getting demoted or fired, or you know, a major like loss for the company, so do not do it. They want you to do something that's like deceitful, something that's not above board. Don't do it. What are the lessons to be learned, please, from this workplace situation? The Emperor reversed. You're not in control. It's making you feel like an imposter. It's making you feel less accomplished, not recognized, not in control. Okay, so they should be supporting you to grow and evolve and become stronger at what you do. They should be skilling you up. They should be giving you more tools, better skills, refining you, encouraging you, motivating you, incentivizing you. They're not doing that, okay? They're actually weakening you. You're losing confidence over time. The outcome is going to be 4 of Cups reversed, 9 of Pentacles upright, 9 of Wands upright, and the 7 of Pentacles. You're going to look back at the past. You're going to realise that you are a warrior, a fighter, and you actually don't need to stay in this situation, okay? The 9 of Pentacles is someone who's self-sufficient. 4 of Cups reversed, becoming open to offers. You're gonna look for other opportunities elsewhere. Okay, probably potentially looking for a leadership opportunity or middle management opportunity. You don't need to hang around and wait. You don't need to do that. They've cut corners, and at some point they've made a big boo-boo and it's caused a loss. There's major regret. Just see this workplace as a stepping stone, guys. It's a stepping stone. It's not the end destination. It might be that because you've been somewhere for a little while, you know, it's a bit more experience, a role that you can add to your CV, and they can say, yep, they worked from this date to this date, but you don't really want your name to be associated with that particular company for a long time. Do you know what I mean? It'll be a good stepping stone to get to where, you know, you belong. Okay, so moving on from Scorpio onto Sagittarius. How you feel at work now, Sagittarius? Two of Cups reversed, 7 of Cups reversed. Right, you hate where you work. It's just not in alignment. You're not in love with it. You're not excited about it. You don't feel like it's a good match. Okay. They're not getting from you what they need. You're not getting from them what you need. 7 of Cups reversed is like just constantly thinking about being somewhere else. Because 7 of Cups, when it's upright, is like a blank canvas and you're trying to decide where to go next. 7 of Cups reverse is like delusion. It's like, I cannot be here. I need to be anywhere else. Where should I be? And it's just constantly thinking, whether you're like in work or at home, or like it's daytime or nighttime. You could be lying in bed just thinking like, where else can I be? I want to be anywhere else, you know? What about your boss's personality, his or her actions? Queen of Wands, they're quite ambitious. they could be a go-getter, they could dress really well, they could be very confident, but intimidating even. They mostly come across like they're in a good mood. But you just don't, you just hate it. It's not like what you enjoy doing. It's like a job. Do you know what I mean? It's a job. Like, it's never good when someone tells you what they do and then they go, it's a job. You know what I mean? Your boss impacts your career. How does your boss impact your career? Four of Swords reverse. You feel restless. You don't feel like relaxed. You don't feel joyful. You don't feel like you have a good life purpose. You feel very irritable and like you can't relax, you know, like night and day. You feel restless. Colleague 1, this is some good advice, okay? This is what you should do. Five of Swords reversed. Okay, do not be vocal. Do not get into arguments with this boss, okay? Do not talk about it with them. Don't argue with them. Play it safe when it comes to vocalizing how you feel about this workplace. If they're argumentative, just be passive, okay? The Last Judgment reversed and the Empress reversed. This is advice from colleague number 2, and this is what to ignore, okay? They're saying don't do anything. Just accept like how things are. This is what workplaces are like. Just take it. You know, maybe like dim your light a little bit. They don't like how attractive you are. They don't like how confident you are. They don't like your ideas. You know, dim your light. This is what the advice is from this person. Ignore it, okay? That's bullshit and bollocks. Don't do that. Do not dim yourself because it might piss off a Queen of Wands. Don't do that. That person likes to be the center of attention. They like to be successful. They like to take, you know, the kudos for like things that are going well. They're going to see you as competition, and this person's like, oh, just let them win because, you know, that's what you should do. No, we're not saying get into arguments, but we're not going to dim our light, okay? Another workplace will give you the opportunities because they'll see your potential and they'll see that you could go further, and they should want that. Really, if someone sees that you're talented, they shouldn't be threatened by it. They should push for that. They should covet it because they're going to make their workplace better. It's going to make it stronger, more competitive, you know, like revitalize it. If they're intimidated by you, like they're an imposter themselves, okay? What lessons are there to be learned from this situation? Two of Wands. Okay, Two of Wands upright and Star reversed. Make a plan, okay? You need to make a choice. Am I gonna stay or am I gonna go? Use this as an opportunity, reframe it and be like, do you know what? How I feel about this place is now confirmed, and I know that I'm gonna move on. So I'm gonna plan and I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna give in my notice and I'm gonna start applying for jobs. I'm gonna look for something that is for my best interest, something that's in harmony with me, something that's in alignment with me, something where I'm understood, where I'm celebrated, where I'm appreciated, and people aren't threatened by me. They're not in competition with me. They're actually like glad that I've got expertise, that I'm, you know, full of ideas, creativity, productivity. It's going to be like, you know, they're going to take it and run with it. What would be the outcome? Six of Pentacles reversed. If you stay in this workplace, it's going to be really unfair. There's going to be like them putting in less and less energy and time and money into it, and you're going to put more and more and more. And it'll just be a real like imbalance of like investment. They're going to put excessive workload on you. What will be the outcome? Sorry, the alternative outcome. An alternative outcome. The Death card. The company won't change, okay? It'll be stagnant. It'll fail to, you know, move with the times. Because this person is making it about themselves instead of about what's best for the company, instead of taking talent and propelling it forwards or shining a light on it. They want it to be all about them. Okay, they're in competition with anyone that they think is talented, so that's ridiculous. It's not helpful. Okay, let's move on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, how do you feel at work right now? The Magician reversed and the Four of Wands reversed. Oh, you feel like you haven't got what you need to succeed in this workplace. Like, you're being held back. There's a lot of instability. You're unsure about the future of the company or the organisation. There could be constant drama. You don't know if you're getting laid off from one month to the next. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of instability. It could be making you have tummy aches, get really anxious. And in that scenario, you just don't feel like you're being given any new skills, any new training, qualifications, not being upgraded. Nothing that's going to carry you forwards, nothing that's making you feel confident that you've got a future in what you're doing. What about this boss's personality or actions? Four of Cups reversed. They may start to talk to you about this. They may worry that you have not been that communicative, that you've been a bit insular recently, and they may invite you to have a supervision so you can talk about this confidentially. How does your boss impact your career? This one wants to turn over. Nine of Cups reversed. You don't enjoy it. You don't feel satisfied. You feel like really dissatisfied at the moment, discontented. It's affecting your like mood outside of work because you feel like disempowered. You don't feel like there's a clear like future or direction for you, a purpose. Advice from colleague number one, and this is good advice, okay? This is advice to be considered heavily. This is what to do. Wheel of Fortune reversed, King of Pentacles reversed. Withdraw investment, okay? Wheel of Fortune reversed is like when you're stuck on a karmic wheel, okay? The wheel's not turning in your favour because you haven't learned a lesson. You haven't heeded a warning. King of Pentacles reversed. You're gonna lose out if you stay where you are, okay? Because maybe they need to give you less hours or make you part-time, or they don't ask people to volunteer for redundancies. It's something like that, like the budget's getting reduced, or Do you know what I mean? Okay, they're anxious about like people piling out of the workplace en masse because that they need people to stay and they need like people not to panic. However, there's a reduction in opportunities. There's like limited places that you could go with this. This is advice to ignore now. Advice from different colleagues, and it's advice to ignore. The Star is the challenge. The Seven of Cups and the Two of Cups. They're like, oh, don't go anywhere else. Nowhere else is better. You know, like, oh, what is it that you want? Like, you got unrealistic expectations. Don't be looking for better. They're all as bad as each other. Like, it's people that are stuck and stagnant and they're afraid to go elsewhere because maybe they're not confident in their own abilities, or, you know, they think they're a hero just having any kind of job. But these people are... They've not experienced what you've experienced, where you can like be in a job and love it, or you can be in a workplace and love it, or you can work for someone and really look up to them. They're not used to that. They don't really get that as a concept. Lessons to be learned for Capricorn. What lessons can be learned for Capricorn in this situation? Six of Pentacles upright, King of Cups upright. You're a patient person, you're a compassionate person, you're a forgiving person, but you require reciprocity, you require equal give and take. Okay, don't settle for anything less. All you're asking for is partnership, all you're asking for is equality of opportunity, of like, you know, you're going to put in effort that's going to be rewarded, that's going to be noted, that you're going to have steady money. If they can't offer you that, then they can't really expect you to, you know, be in a great mood and work or go above and beyond. You know, like, it's not realistic, is it? What would be the outcome? Four of Pentacles reversed. You're going to have to invest elsewhere. You're going to have to spend a little bit of money applying for other jobs, looking for other opportunities. You may have to get into the zone where you just... you use a bit of your savings, okay, to just... You may want to pay for a course or something to re-educate yourself so that you can get yourself some additional opportunities or a level up. I see outward investment. Knight of Wands and the Magician reversed. Yeah, you're just gonna feel like you're gonna feel like every time you invest money, like it's just not increasing your opportunities, like in this work environment for this particular boss, for this particular organization. You might lose your temper, you might get angry at times, or you might just think like, I'm gonna be a bit impulsive here and I'm gonna start a side hustle, or I'm gonna like start to contact other companies, or like sign up with an agency, and like I'm gonna seek other opportunities. Like this is like, I'm tempted to be impulsive, I'm gonna be making investment outwardly. Even if I have to live off some of my savings for a while, I'd rather do that than stay somewhere where someone's like competitive or combative with me. Yeah, because I can't change the situation. I can't change their mind. I can't change their personality. I can't change what's happening in this wider picture. Like, I'm prepared to live off my savings. I'm prepared to make an impulsive decision should I need to, should it get that far. What's an alternative outcome? Eight of Pentacles. You might go back to school, back to uni. You know, train it to work in a different kind of field or department. This is about growth and expansion. It's about honing your skills, adding more strings to your bow, going back to college, going back to uni, leveling up somehow. Seek further education, okay, courses, things like that, so that you can go above and around this person. Okay, on to Aquarius. Aquarius, how do you feel at work right now? Four of Pentacles reversed. Four of Pentacles upright is the miser. It's someone that's conserving their position. They're preserving their position. The Four of Pentacles reverse is like you're having to give more and more time, money and energy, or you're worried about the security of your role, of your position. You may have had to take a pay cut and therefore you're living off some of your savings as well to pay the mortgage each month. What about your boss's personality or actions? His or her personality or actions? The Star card was upright and it spun around. And then we've got the Two of Cups. They keep coming out together, don't they? You didn't feel like you quite see eye to eye. You didn't quite see eye to eye, you and this boss. Oops, I don't want to drop all my cards. Hang on. Okay, I nearly lost them all. I mean, the Star card is your major arcana, so you could feel like when you're truly yourself, they're not really in love with it. You could feel like, you know, you can't quite be yourself around this person because they don't really understand you. The impact is that you tend to, like, withdraw, you tend to go a little bit isolated, a bit insular. You go quiet, and that's not really an Aquarian attribute. You tend to be of the community, for the community. Your love language is acts of service. You're very gregarious and outgoing. You're quite alternative. You can be somewhat of a free spirit and someone that likes to work solo. rather than as part of a team, but you're good at what you do. However, because you feel misunderstood by this boss, it makes you go a bit insular, a bit inward, a bit quiet around colleagues and around your boss. You feel like you mustn't, like, you must hide aspects of yourself, or like you don't want to be judged. Colleague number 1 is giving you some advice. This is what you should do, okay? This is good advice. Five of Swords upright. You should challenge this person, challenge your boss, be vocal, be verbal, be communicative, okay? Because they're not getting you right at all. A Tower moment, okay? So the Strength card, the Nine of Swords reversed. Drop the burden. You don't need to keep up a pretense. With having honest conversations, it could feel awkward, it could feel difficult, but it won't necessarily be a bad outcome, and things will change, from that. It won't be stagnant, it won't stay how it always was. They will treat you differently, okay? Potentially they'll understand you better. Taking the bull by the horns sometimes does work, okay? Helping people to understand you better does work. Stopping to have a bit more conversation or making a bit more time for a boss, can bring you together. Attending like mixes, or attending well-beings, or attending work nights out, anything where that boss is going to be there, or just finding ways to be around them a little bit more instead of rushing off, it could really help the situation. Let them get to know you a bit more, okay, instead of being avoidant. Advice to ignore, okay? This is advice from a different colleague, and this is something to ignore. The Empress reversed. Don't stifle your creativity. Don't try to keep ideas to yourself, or shrink down. Don't let people get you down, okay? Because the Empress is someone who's like full of creativity, full of ideas. She can create from zero as many times as she needs to. She's abundant always, no matter where she is in the world or who she's around. She holds all of the value. The answers lie within her. She's creative, she's abundant. It's not about where she is, okay? She is the value in her. So if she moves to another workplace, the other workplace will benefit from her. So don't forget, and don't kind of think, oh, I need this workplace because, they're what's good about me. They're what's good about my career. No, you are what's good about your career. You go somewhere else and that other workplace can benefit from you. Don't bow down to this workplace, or like, take a lesser role. Because if someone's a bad colleague and they're giving you that advice, it's because they want to probably, tread on your back and leapfrog. Temperance. So, lessons to be learned is be patient, try to manage your emotions. Not saying don't be passionate about what you do, but don't let people get to you. Just be clever, quietly pull your punches, quietly go and find opportunities to have a bit more time with that boss. Okay, so you can build a better relationship with them because they probably just got the wrong idea about you. You may have made assumptions or been told incorrect things, and the only way that you can correct them is by being around them a little bit more. Okay, being a bit more open with them. What would be the outcome? Four of Wands reversed. There's going to be a lot of competition. There's going to be a lot of change. You won't feel stability, okay? You won't feel stability because people are going to feel inferior. They're going to feel worried. It might actually impact your life at home. As it usually does. If you don't feel good in work, you come home and you tend to offload or project onto people. You sort of like burden them with your problems and you ask for advice. It's not wrong to do that, but it obviously like it just pressurizes people a little bit more at home. What could be an alternative outcome? Ace of Wands reversed. Ten of Wands reversed. Death card. The Emperor reversed. You could move on from this workplace. You know, if it gets too stressful, if you don't feel understood, it might actually be a solution to actually go and work for someone that does understand you, someone that's looking at you with fresh eyes, not old eyes. You know, someone that's not got a preconceived notion about who you are or how you are, someone that's not been affected by, you know, competitive co-workers, sly co-workers, people that have bitched about you or said untrue things or put you down. You know, if you go to a new workplace, you get to start over, don't you? And like, you remove the competition, essentially. You remove the blocks and the delays to your career. Because we've got the Death card, which is about moving on to a new chapter. The Emperor reverse would be like a demotion or taking a pay cut or leaving a workplace. Ten of Wands reverse, dropping the burdens end of a chapter. Ace of Wands reverse, not having a rebirth, not trying again, but just not doing it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be stoic with a workplace and it's not the answer. You're not in prison, like you're not a tree, move, you know? All they need to do is confirm what date you worked there, till what date. They don't need to do anything else. And even if they say they're going to give you a negative reference or they're not going to give you a good reference, they're not supposed to do that, number one. And number two, people in other workplaces have experience at boss. They have experience and knowledge of that school, that organisation, that company. So they have their own opinions, okay? They have their own connections, their own sources for information, their own judgment. Don't be intimidated by, even if you don't feel like you've got anything on this boss, don't be intimidated by them because they've got their own history, they've got their own things that they've done or said. People are not loved by everyone around them. No one is. Some people will have supporters, some people will have haters. We've all got that, you know. So you'll find a workplace that is willing to give you a go, despite whatever this person says. Okay. I don't see them as like terrible though. I just see them as like being surrounded by people that are like operating against you, not for your highest good, because they're your competitors, right? They're like, there's a lot of like too many cooks here. Okay, on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces, how do you feel at work right now? The Hierophant, you feel wise, you feel like you've learned a lot of lessons, you feel like you carry a lot of wisdom, people like to ask for your advice, your opinion on things, okay? Like, you got a good standing, you may have been at the workplace for many years, you're well thought of. Your boss's personality, Page of Pentacles reversed, they like to keep people in the current position that they're in. They don't like to do too much promoting or too much change. How does this impact your career? Queen of Cups reverse, you're getting a bit impatient, you're getting fed up, could be feeling a bit moody. There may be someone that's making pay cuts, making redundancies, doing a lot of chopping and changing with the structure of the organisation or the company, and it's making you feel impatient, making you feel frustrated, angry, upset, worried. It's not having a good effect. What's the advice? This is advice to heed, okay? This is what you should do. 6 of Wands, you should celebrate the success that you've had to date in this workplace. Okay, you are well thought of, you are a pillar of this workplace. View yourself as that, okay, and be proud of what you've achieved. Advice to ignore. Colleague 2, advice to ignore. Three of Wands reversed, the Sun reversed, 2 of Wands reversed. This person's like, oh, like, don't think about changing jobs, don't think about doing anything, or like, don't expect anything. Just, accept that you're unhappy in work and that's like just part of a normal working day. It's part of a normal career to feel like that. It's not normal, guys, okay? Like, don't stay stagnant. If any opportunities come up anywhere else, sometimes that can make your workplace do stuff to secure your position with them. Sometimes you can stay, like, hang on in there and things change, or sometimes, because they got the Queen of Pentacles reverse, it's like, sometimes they just take you for granted. They don't want to tell you, like, what an asset you are to the company, because I think you already knew that. What's the lesson to be learned? The Magician reversed. Some stuff's outside of your control. You haven't got the tools to kind of change the situation. I strongly feel like you need to wait it out, and I think situations will change due to external factors. Like, they may get access to more funding, they may get private investors, you're pouring money into them, and then, like, all things are possible. I just feel like you need to stay and wait. The outcome is the Justice reversed. Maybe not. You feel like something's really unfair because you're actually, like, like a Titan in this workplace scenario. There aren't any new opportunities. You're going to start to feel taken for granted. Remain confident, expect to be celebrated. What could be an alternative outcome? Two of Swords reversed. Things could just stay the same for a while, or they could become unjust, become unfair. You may see people promoted above you that are like half your age and get like really fed up with it. Or you feel like you've hit a bit of a ceiling and you can't get anywhere new with it. You are well thought of, but it's like they just haven't got the capacity to offer you like new opportunities. I mean, if you start to feel like it's unjust, like the situation that you're in, you need to start making opportunities for yourself elsewhere, don't you? Like seeking out alternative employment, whether it's working for yourself, freelancing, changing field, starting a side hustle, going back to school, or just moving somewhere else where they have like more budget. Because the Two of Swords upright would be, I'm not dealing with this. The Two of Swords reverse is like, I'm now clear and I'm ready to make a decision. The Justice reversed is like, something's unfair, it's unjust. There's no new opportunities, there's no promotions, there's no like increase. You might become clear and think, you know, I'm going to relocate, if it means like moving to another location, then so be it. Okay, take care, Pisces. I hope this reading was helpful. I know a lot of people got confused and thought it was a love reading. But I tend to do a bit of everything. I've done the Native American Indian medicine wheel a little while ago, so look back for that. I've done... What else have I done? I've done career, education and finance readings. Tonight was a nightmare boss reading. And you had the love readings at the weekend. So there will be more love readings next weekend. Just trying to give you different things, okay? Alright, take care and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to give me a like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers. It's a big deal. Started the channel this time a year ago and I've posted like every day and worked my ass off on top of a full-time job. So I mean, hopefully it's genuinely, the aim is for it to be genuinely like helpful, useful, comforting. It'd be nice to see it grow. Enjoy the rest of your evening.